Alright, welcome guys to the third triple commentary between Clazart, Moltrap, and Diggity going on here for the MSL Group B. This is the group with Bisu, Jaedong, Julyzerg, and Yarnc, and this is a match, this is the winner's match between Jaedong and Julyzerg, and this is definitely going to be an interesting match one way or another, and Julyzerg lagging out, or no, Jaedong lagging out. Okay, interesting, fair enough. I wonder what's going on.
That's good. It gives us time to talk about the game. That's
okay,
good.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, it's gonna be interesting no matter what. Jaedong, as I mentioned at the end of the last game, has you know, definitely revered Zerg versus Zerg. He's a Zerg killer, slaughtering Zerg players left and right. And Julyzerg, I mean, obviously also has very good Zerg versus Zerg. He hasn't been playing well the last year or so. Excuse me. He had, yeah, last year or so, I guess.
He's been playing schizophrenic, actually, I think.
Yeah, he's been playing schizophrenic. He kind of like, he'll come on one day and he'll slaughter Bisu, the rating champion, and then the next day, you know, he will lose to Iris, who I don't like Iris that much. So, but you know, just he'll kind of be off and on, off and on. And Julyzerg played a really good game, really smart game in his match against Yarnc. Basically, even though he took an early economy hit, a couple of Zerglings got in his base and took out a few drones, and a few drones is critical in Zerg versus Zerg. He's still played really intelligently and took the win out eventually by getting those mutalisks over and taking out Yarnc's economy better, basically. So either way, it's going to be an interesting match here. This is on Zodiac, by the way. You know, I can't think... Clazart, do you think this map is going to affect the game at all? The way that it's set up with the ramps and everything? Because that's what Julyzerg ended up using last game, was the ramps to his advantage.
Well, Jaedong definitely likes to be the aggressor. July seemed to be content to play a defensive game last time around and just kind of go for a very standard build and let his opponent try and do it something different. He was content to play a standard game, and I think he might be content to play a standard game again. And that Jaedong's aggressive strategy may very well play into his hands. But again, and the other thing, the other feature I think is because Jaedong's first game was versus Bisu, he would have put a lot of practice into that as well. So he might not be as well practiced for his Zerg versus Zerg. You know, the key question for me is going to be how confident Jaedong has been in his Zerg versus Zerg. Has he been overconfident, not prepared enough? Because that would let July in the back door. I think their starting positions being close together would also be something that will influence the game a little bit because they're not cross map, they're right next to each other. And I guess it's going to depend on the scouts. So you know, I think this is impossible to call before the game starts, and between these two guys, I think it's impossible to call.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think? Basically, going by like recent behavior, Jaedong is definitely favored. But Diggity, do you think that July has shown in his first game that he has what it takes to take out Jaedong, or do you think that he's still not quite up to his game, like his old game?
Honestly, I don't think he showed anything special. I think it was just Yarnc just kind of, I'm not sure what was with that strategy. It was really easy for Julyzerg to hold out. Now the game getting underway.
1-0. Alright, the game getting underway. Coming again. It looks like Julyzerg is going to be in a teal color here, the 6 o'clock position, and Jaedong's going to be in orange at the 9 o'clock position. So yeah, definitely scouting is going to be an issue. And if you look here, it looks like Jaedong is going to be scouting Julyzerg first. So I think that's definitely going to... Klaus, what do you think about that? Do you think Jaedong's going to be able to take the advantage just because of his being able to scout Julyzerg first?
Well, we all know how crucial scouting is in StarCraft, and the fact that Jaedong's going to get his Overlord there and going to have his Overlord over July's base for a long time, I think is going to play hugely into this. I'm not sure how the color theory is working out this time with July in teal and Jaedong in orange, but I would definitely give Jaedong the early advantage with the scout, and it's just a question of whether he makes best use of it or not.
I think that you're right. This may actually come down to scouting and strategy more than colors this time. But we'll have to see if that works out. JD, what are you thinking about this? How important is the scout to Jaedong? Do you think July is going to be able to cope with the fact that he doesn't know what Jaedong is doing?
I think he'll be okay, because I think his second Overlord obviously can get there before. My guess, the one issue is he's not going to go if he's not going to know if he's facing a 9 pool or a 12 hatch. But I think automatically he's just going to probably go into a 9 hatch build as soon as he sees that Overlord, just because he knows there's that proximity. And in the meantime, actually, it looks like Jaedong. We'll see where he goes from now. He's sending out that drone, so I think he's going for that second hatchery now. Yeah, he's going to plop that second hatchery down. But I'm sorry, no, Julyzerg's putting that second hatchery down, so this is going to be absolutely disastrous. Had the colors mixed up, and if Jaedong decides to go 9-pool, which we'll see in a second, he is going kind of a 9-pool, wow, fast Zerglings going for the gas. This could be absolute disastrous for Julyzerg in this situation. I'm surprised that Julyzerg scouted for the distance, because usually when you have a game plan like this ahead of time, you scout the worst possible position first. Instead, he ended up scouting the other direction, just now getting his spawning pool down. I'm not sure. Basically, the question is, will Julyzerg be able to defend against that, getting his gas down now? Jaedong has all the information he needs. I'll put this back to you.
Yeah,
another hatchery going down.
You're right. You're right. He's getting his pool down later and his gas down a lot later as well. But what we've seen July do actually is sometimes he can be good at like Klazar was saying, playing a defensive game where basically it's going to come down to, I think, whether or not was that a creep colony he was putting down there? I didn't see that.
Oh wow, he's going straight to lair.
In Jaedong's base.
Yeah,
that's another hatchery.
Jaedong's gone straight to lair. Jaedong's got a hat. No, Jaedong put on a second hatchery.
Oh, now he's got the lair down.
That's interesting of Jaedong. I think maybe he wants to get a tech lead over July because he realizes how late July was because of putting on that hatchery. But that conversely is going to give July an opportunity. Actually, you know what? July is in huge trouble here because first of all, Jaedong's got his lair tech ahead. He's also got his second hatchery building, so he's not going to be overrun by lings from July or anything. He's going to have those Mutalisks out very early, and it's actually going to be, despite the fact that July went in with the earlier hatchery and is going to have quote-unquote a superior economy to start with, it's going to be Jaedong, I think, who's decided to play the defensive game, and that's very interesting. I thought he would go on the offense with all the scouting advantage and the build advantage. It looks like he's gone for a defensive game.
Oh, interesting. Julyzerg getting some lings out here, so actually I don't think Jaedong has made any lings. He's going to see those lings coming out, so he's going to build some lings right now probably, and he's going to be able to deal with that pretty easily. Yeah, okay, he does have some lings there. He's probably going to use them to just block his ramp off. Or he might go out and attack. We'll have to see in a second. I don't know. Basically, in Zerg versus Zerg, what you see a lot of the time is sometimes, kind of like what you were saying, the aggressor isn't always the winner because the time it takes, and it's not long, especially with these close positions like you mentioned earlier. It's not a lot of time, but there is still some time for the Mutalisks to get organized together in a group and then get over to the other base. And I think that Julyzerg might be just behind enough that it might be just that amount of delay that he needs to defend against Jaedong, and then in that case he will have the economic advantage. He'll be able to. But Jaedong sneaking in some lings here. If he can take out a few drones here, that'll be definitely critical.
Oh my God!
And Julyzerg
2 drones with 2 lings.
Oh, 2 drones. Oh, and the one drone finally running up. No, he's attacking gas drones too. If he can take another drone, absolutely critical there. And Julyzerg, definitely taking a disadvantage here. Like I said before, a matter of a few drones could be an absolutely huge deal, epic deal in Zerg versus Zerg. And now a ton of links coming in here as well for Jaedong. I think that Julyzerg might have just lost that match by losing those few drones. It's difficult to tell, but like he did in the first game, if Julyzerg can do a counterattack and hit some of Jaedong's economy, but he's going in with some lings and he has way too few lings there, not enough lings to go in there. Jaedong still has a few more lings, I think, even with those reinforcements from Julyzerg. I don't know, what do you think, Diggity, do you think Julyzerg can come back from this little economic hit? It was only a couple drones, but that can be the difference. Do you think it's enough of a difference?
Being behind in tech and now on economy as well, I think this might be doom. It's just those little precise things. I mean, granted, it's not an art, but it's just those little things here and there. And as you can see, Julyzerg looks like he's going to try to push up on the ramp right now and try to catch it. But I think Jaedong's going to be able to fight this off pretty easily. Once those Mutalisks are out, that's going to be...
Sorry, it looks like Julyzerg's trying to take that ramp. He's doing pretty good considering he's going uphill, and he's getting some more reinforcements in there. But no, Jaedong brings in Mutalisk, so that's the end of that ling attack, and Julyzerg knows that he's perhaps going to pull his lings out. And I think basically it's going to come down. Yeah, he has his Spire up. I don't know if he's going to be able to produce enough Mutalisks. He's probably actually going to go for Scourges, and because he doesn't have a choice but to go for Scourges right now. And when he does, Jaedong's Jaedong's Mutalisk Micro will basically eat the Scourges alive, and now he's eating the lings alive. I think this is, I don't know, Klazar, do you think there's any way that July can come back? I don't think there is.
No, this is GG, and again, you know, you've got to give a lot of credit to Jaedong for his decision-making ability. We all assumed the moment we saw that he was ahead in his tech build that he was going to go for the kill and go for the aggressive strategy, and I guess that's the difference between us and a super mega pro player in terms of decision making, because yes, that's probably something that we would do. We would think we've got an advantage, let's close the game out. Right, we see a door open, we've got an advantage, just close the game out ASAP, whereas Jaedong realizes that at the pro level, it's not necessarily all about closing the game out ASAP, but about achieving victory in the longer term, and that was a great article on Team Liquid by Day 9 about that, about the margins of victory. So I think Jaedong has really just, once again, I think this shows why he's got such a good Zerg versus Zerg record.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and here he's going to pick off the, like I said, picking off those Scourges. The Scourges desperately trying in, and like I said, they're just not able to do anything. And of course, Julyzerg, for some reason, sending him in piecemeal, 2 at a time. And I think that was almost insulting of Jaedong to Starbursted Mutalisks and hunt for Overlords. I think he should have just gone in and killed off Julyzerg. But so Jaedong proving himself as continuing as the Zerg versus Zerg master, taking the winners match. Jaedong advancing to the next round of the MSL. Jaedong definitely advancing, and so now basically it's up to see who's going to advance among the rest of the 3 that are left. Any closing thoughts, guys?
I have one.
Wow, I'm impressed. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Do you guys think that Jaedong is now the favorite to win the MSL? Obviously, Mine's still out there too, but people still aren't all sold out on Mine. But wow, Jaedong, just the OSL champ, looking fantastic now. Is he the favorite? I guess go to Julyzerg first.
You know what? I wouldn't call. I think it's too early. He's looking scary. He's reminding me of the Julyzerg, I've got to say. And that was the question in everyone's minds. Would there be a new dominating player returning? There hasn't been one last season. We thought it could be Stork. It wasn't. Looks like it's Jaedong's time. And I have to say I didn't think a lot of Jaedong a couple of seasons ago, but boy is he turning up. And really he's just evolved. I mean, he's the Zerg who's evolved.
All right, let's go on to the losers match and watch Bisu kick some butt.
All right, sounds good.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Thanks for listening, guys.